All right, good morning, everybody. Hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic start to the AM here. Happy CPI day here, and let's kind of get after it here. So yesterday, a little bit of a challenging session, right? I got faked out. I don't know how many times it felt like as things kind of broke down and then bounced back up. And just as a reminder to myself here, right, is that price action isn't personal. So I could have yesterday, right, changed my stop loss technique or made money if I ignored my stop loss locations. And that would have been a great P&L result, but it ultimately would have cost me even more money long term. Right, one of the things we can't do as traders is basically tell ourselves that, once the lottery tickets are drawn, that we could say, if I played, 7, 12, 53, 64, 98, right, as my lottery ticket numbers, that I would have won after the fact, right? So there's none of that type of behavior here. There's none of those types of expectations. And for me, right, yeah, exactly like you're saying, John, it's about the ability to follow my rules and be consistent even when the variance short term makes it really challenging to do so. So for me, right, over a decade now of trading, I don't think that the trader who tries to optimize for the largest daily P&L wins. It's the trader that decides that they're going to choose to remain in control on a day-to-day basis that ultimately long-term wins, right? And for me, right, the important thing is about, managing my risk, trusting my technique, allowing myself to obviously feel the pain, right? That's inevitable. It's always going to suck. I'm not a good loser. I don't like losing. I've never, I was that kid when I was 6 years old. We'd be playing basketball games and they would tell us to not count score, and I'd count, and if we lost, right, I would cry. So I don't like losing, right? No one likes losing. But it's understanding that if you miss a shot, right, things don't go the way that you want, well, you're not going to change your behavior. You're not going to quit. You're not going to put yourself in situations where you're going to blow up. You're going to put yourself in situations where you learn from your decisions, you learn from your mistakes, you decide, okay, was this how I wanted to behave? Was this not how I wanted to have behaved? And when you control those elements, then the market kind of rewards you long term. When I look at my trading here over the last 10 days or so, I'm pretty much scratch, right? So I'm kind of like one day up, one day down, and dealing with a little bit of some, we'll call it choppy period right here in the market, where I'm not finding as much follow through as I would like. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? And it's not necessarily a good thing, but just need to remind myself, right, that every trader has periods where their P&L doesn't go in a straight line, right? So this idea that every day I'm going to be green, every day I'm going to be perfect, every day I'm going to be flawless, every day I'm going to have the exact result that I want, is a way of tricking myself into just blowing up my account the first time I have a day that doesn't go my way. So one thing that I have realized relatively early on in my career is that it is not, like, you don't judge yourself on the quality of your P&L. You judge yourself on the quality of your decisions. Did I behave the way that I wanted to behave? Did I follow my trading rules? Did I manage risk like a sociopath, right? Was I obsessing over my ability to lose small versus obsessing over my ability to win big? And I've spoken to hundreds of traders here now over the course of my coaching career, if you even want to call it that. And every time a trader obsesses over winning big, they ultimately just end up blowing up, right? I've seen it 1,000 times here now. And every time a trader decides to commit to losing small and playing the numbers game and playing basically the probabilities, well, then they set themselves up to be successful. So the decision, right, you have to make at some point here inside your career is to decide that, hey, I'm going to be the trader that I know I can be, And that starts, right, with managing your risk like a lunatic. I've said it before, and this is maybe like a little bit of a strange analogy, but I want to be the Richard Rodriguez of risk management, right? I want to be a risk management psychopath. I want to hunt my stop losses and be so deliberate in those plans that it is like uncomfortable, right, to be that obsessive. And the more that I can be that version of myself, and the more that I could obsess over those variables, the better things go here long term. So today, regardless of how you felt yesterday went, regardless of how you felt Monday went, regardless of how you felt last week went, today is a fresh day, and we don't bring baggage into new trading sessions. We don't trade with our ego after a big win. We don't trade with our greed after a big loss, and we simply focus on taking it one day at a time, one decision at a time, and remaining in control for each decision. And also understanding, right, that there's going to be times to walk away, right? Walk away after a nice green day, walk away after a big red day, walk away when you feel like you lose control, and to put yourself in situations where you're doing what is best for your account long term, not what feels best for your account in the moment. And too many of us, right? Too many traders, too many individuals, we are slaves to what feels best in the moment, where we need that dopamine release, we need that gratification, we need that satisfaction of, oh, today was a 20K day, today was a 30K day, today was a 100K day, and we're unwilling to make decisions that compound long-term success. So we have to make that decision. We have to be okay walking away green. We have to be okay walking away red. And we have to start playing this long-term game instead of falling for the trap of those short-term results. So you know who you are, right? We all know only in ourselves, right? If that's how we feel individually, and if that is how you feel, right? If that is how you behave, this is your wake-up call, right? It's time to start doing something differently. It's time to start improving. It's time to start being deliberate, and it's time to start actually playing this long-term game. All right, so with that being said, let's start mapping things out here a little bit this morning. Let's figure out what we want to do, and let's have ourselves a fantastic trading day. So first things first here, what's the count on ES? Let's start there. And then we got a few contextual things we need to talk about that. Yeah, 2 out of 3 here to the downside, right? And it's a week, 2 out of 3 here to the downside with volume. Right, and so a couple things. Every time I've seen an increasing, we'll call it least bearish candle, right? Increasing volume, least bearish candle. The next day, the candle is pretty historically green. So we have a couple examples here, right? Okay, that Monday example, not a great comparable, right? It's not outlier volume. But here, outlier volume, next day, green candle. Outlier volume, right? Increasing next day, big breakout. Outlier, next day, green. Outlier, right? Next day, green. Not even a huge bottom wick, but still, right? Giving us that oomph. Outlier, right? Next day, green. So what we've seen here historically is that very often, once we establish some of those dip buyers on the previous day, we can expect, some sort of potential upside follow through. Now today, we did have CPI here this morning, right? We've got some more Fed speak yapping away here today. And so potentially, right, this could be setting up as like a bull flag scenario. And we'd like to see a breakout basically of that range prior to us being aggressive. It's really hard for us to argue that we actually do have a long-term bearish trend, right? It's been a pretty aggressive breakout here post-election, and it kind of just looks like consolidation while we wait for that next move. So although today is a technical 2 out of 3 here to the downside, I'm not actually going to put too much stock into that at being trending price action. And I'm going to look for or have flexibility here in either direction to look for either a breakout, right, like we've seen historically on those least bearish, right, days, or we're going to see if we can get a clear resolution, right, to actually do create that bearish trending PA. So I don't want to overvalue that candle. There's very minimal reasons for me to do so. I'm going to look to see if I can take advantage of that enthusiasm and basically trend or play the market the way it's reasonably been trending. If I can find a dip buy there off of like 5,900, right, to 6,000, that certainly 5,990, sorry, to 6,000, that certainly would be interesting. And then a breakout back up towards like 60.50. Again, not really too much changing there. Yesterday, essentially a day of consolidation. And then we're going to say just possible bull flag here. And we'll see if this thing can kind of run for us, right? And then give us a little bit of oomph. But I need to see a breakout of consolidation here. If I don't see that consolidation breakout, then it's going to be like a one trade day, right? Where I'm going to be relatively cautious and relatively patient until I do get that separation. And if I do get that separation, okay, I'll give myself a little bit of license to be a bit more aggressive. But short term, looking for that breakout, need to see that breakout. And yeah, that's really the idea here. To the downside, right, if we get a rejection off of all-time highs, right, then we could break down past 66,000, right, and then we can target 5,990 and beyond. So that's gonna be the starting point here to the downside. And we could say rejection at trend line. And then, yeah, let's see how it goes. And then the other thing, we'll talk about this as markets open up, but on the shorter time frames here, very often, if we look at the opening range breakout here, if the second candle of the day, let's find a good example here. If the second candle of the day is a breakout candle on decreasing volume, that very often ends up being a relative low of day. So especially to the upside here, right? When you get those breakouts on decreasing volume, that low of day on those decreasing volume bars very often ends up holding as a low volume period or a low volume bar. And so maybe that will ultimately be a scenario that we can look at here in a little bit more detail as well. All right. And Q. What's the count here? And it's that same pattern we talked about, right? Those outlier red candles with kind of bottom heavy wicks. Next day, very often, right, is a green day or a significant green day. Like, I actually can find very few examples where the following day was actually red. Decreasing. Like 1 out of 10, maybe. Right? So again, this kind of just looks like consolidation, and there's probably flexibility, right, to have a bias in either direction here. So again, possible bull flag type scenario. Yeah, and then again, levels wise, not really changing here. Bounce off of 2150 would be the starting point. And then to the downside here, right, like a trend line rejection, so 21,250. And we'll go slash all-time highs, right? So if I get fake out above this range and get stuffed at, 21,300, that's going to be just fine too, right? That's still that same thesis. And then we're targeting a move towards 21.1's already kind of mapped out, 21,000. And then we got space. So I don't think I need to change too much of these narratives here. But let's see where that enthusiasm shows up this morning. Make sense? And do you guys understand? Does the team understand why I have that flexibility in both directions here today? Does that make sense as well? All right, sweet. So crude, 2 out of 3 here to the downside without volume. So we could be looking for like a BB reversal type setup, right? We're on the lower end of the Bollinger Band. So again, this could be a relatively type, like a reversal type play. Had an opportunity to go trend continuation, could not do trend continuation. And relatively big range here this morning. Today is the 13th. I don't see any crude data. So we're looking for like a fake out, ORB fake out off of 67.50. And then break out towards pre-market high, right, which is $69. Nice. And then we're going towards 70, so we'll go 69.50, 70, 70.50, 72. Okay. And then to the downside here, right, a rejection off of like, yesterday's high, so $69, and then breakdown certainly makes sense. And then we're targeting towards 67.50 and beyond. Make sense? All right, sweet. All right, Apple, inside bar here. And so we're still looking for that breakout over 225.50 or under 221.50. Not much changing. Tesla, pretty decent gap up here this morning. Suresh, if you're watching, still no confirmation, right, for that bearish reversal. So 1 for 3 here. So you're looking for a 345 breakout. Or to the downside under 320. Cool. Microsoft inside bar. Yeah, fair play. So, like, your idea, your setup is probably fine, Suresh, but wait till you have confirmation, right? Don't go front running these ideas because they get very expensive very quick. So 425 breakout here. Or, right, a rejection off of yesterday's or through yesterday's low. Call it 416 still. So it's a good setup trigger, but always, always, always wait for confirmation. So Amazon's got a little bit of a possible bull flag scenario. 3 for 3 here with this bull flag. So we're looking for a 210 breakout only. And it's a nice narrative, right? That's very similar to what we're seeing on the general index level. So let's see if this thing wants to act like a leader. Okay, AMD. Trend line rejection, right? Starting to break down. 3 for 3 here to the downside. So we're going to go NA here for a bull case. And we're looking for a breakdown here off of either 145 or a breakdown under 145.50. 141.50. Okay, NVIDIA, technically a 3 for 3 here to the downside. Sorry, to the upside. Not the world's strongest 3 for 3, right? Couldn't hold above previous area of resistance. There's definitely some reasons to be pessimistic. And that 150 continues to act as like an area of resistance. So I just need to see that 150 breakout, right, before I'm willing to be very aggressive here. Okay, Meta, nice rejection off of that upper trend line. Big volume, gapping down 2 cents. So we're going to call it a 3 for 3 here to the downside. So NA on a bull case here today. And we're looking now for a breakdown under 580. Or, right, a retest of like 600, right? Cool. Netflix, 3 for 3 here to the upside. So continuing that non-outlier volume breakout. Now at 822. I don't understand Netflix. Not because it's making higher highs and things along those lines. But if you don't have a Netflix subscription already, why? Like, who's buying it, right? So I'm a little bit confused by that. But yeah, seems like it's still got legs. So again, price action can remain irrational longer than I can stay solvent. So 822 here to the upside, or a gap fill and go off of 820. Sweet. Okay, Google. 2 out of 3 here to the upside with volume. Non-outlier, but still more trending price action. It got stuffed at that Wednesday the 30th high. So we'd like to see a breakout above that range and not really look for dip buyers there, because not that much kind of momentum here higher, right? So we're going to look for a 182.50 breakout, and that's pretty much it. And then VIX 14.72. So again, continues to dump here. And not giving me a tremendous amount to follow through. Bitcoin, man, on a path to 20 or to 100K. What a beast. So yeah, any questions here, team? Everything makes sense? All right, any questions, any tickers you guys want me to look at? Yeah, so we got a request for shop. Post earnings. Not a huge reaction to its earnings, right? Seems like that move happened during yesterday's trading day. What's your thesis here, Jeff? Not particularly, Bavik. I mean, I can take a look at them, no problem. So you've been in since 70 or 107? Oh, 7. Oh, wow. All right, well, what a run. Um, yeah, I would say there's really minimal reason to close that then, right? Even if it pulls back to 92, there's a good chance it could keep going. So your price makes it very easy to kind of just hold and forget. But yeah, congratulations, man. That's a hell of a trade. So take a coin. Coin's obviously going to be a sympathy play here with Bitcoin. Inside bars, you'd want to see a breakout over 334. I'm not going to start looking at these Canadian names here. Sorry, Jeff. Same thing with Mara, right? Inside bar, so we need to break out over like 25.50. And then Riot attempted to fill that gap, got stuffed, but opening up in its implied middle, so I'd be a little bit more patient here. All right, guys, so I got a couple minutes before market opens. I'm just going to make myself a cup of coffee. If you have any other tickers, right, drop them in the chat. We'll take a look at them. But otherwise, just going to be back in a few minutes, and we'll jump on them. All right, so we're back. Market open here. Let's see how the day shapes up. And where enthusiasm kind of comes together. Like we talked about, right? With those kind of like increasing volume, least bearish candles. Most of the previous or the next days end up being green sessions, right? So here, okay, I mean, that's barely even a bottom wick, but that's 1 for 1. Next day, green. Next candle, right? Increasing candle, increasing volume, right? So that's 2 for 2 green days. Here, right? 3 for 3. Doji, I wouldn't say that counts. Again, Doji wouldn't say that counts. So that's 4 for 4. 5 for 5. Decreasing volume. Decreasing volume. 6 for 6. Doji. 7 for 7. 8 for 8. 9 for 9. Okay, call it 9 for 10, right? That kind of looks more like a doji. Nine for 11. 9 for 12. Sorry, 10 for 12. 11 for 13. Not outlier, but we could call that 11 for 14. 12 for 15. 13 for 16. So the last few examples, right, of those days, 13 of the last 16 sessions ended up being green bars, right? And that was being called relatively liberal with those examples. So let's see. What was that? 13 for 16? What was that as a percentage? %81 of the time, the next day is green. And we're in a bullish trending market. It's kind of hard to ignore that, right? So I do have some flexibility here, probably realistically, maybe more of a bullish bias than a bearish bias. But let's see how it goes. Does that make sense in general, team? Hey, good morning, SG. Yes, no, maybe. And again, right, so I've already, I think I mentioned this. Today is going to be, if we don't get a clear, distinct breakout from these ranges, today's going to be a one trade day, right? So if I don't get good follow through, if I'm not able to see a tremendous amount of follow through here today, I'm not going to get myself into like a tunnel vision situation. Just going to either get the opportunity I'm looking for, or I'm going to get the long-term breakout I'm looking for, and I'll be able to trade that as well. But if I don't get those opportunities, then I'm not going to allow myself to get like chopped about here by the market. right? Talk about this all the time, but good risk management is proactive, not reactive. Right? So if we're going to let ourselves get into our irrational states as traders, and then we think that we're going to have a logical solution, right, to an irrational problem, we're lying to ourselves, right, over our actual probability of solving that issue. No 10 a.m. data today. No 9:45 data, but we still have some more Fed speak this morning. My favorite. Kind of reminds me a little bit of this possible rejection that we saw there yesterday. Little bit, right? And if that would be the case, then if we're going to look to play the short, it would have to be a pullback into high of day as a stop loss, right? And then a low vol pullback, right, relative. Now, it's too early to make that call here, but that would be one thing to potentially consider. That just looks like a nasty little fake. Yes. Is that increasing volume? It is. For me, it looks like a doji, right? If I'm going to stack up these two candles together, still just looks a little bit indecisive. So I'm not going to rush it. Pretty much everything is selling. I mean, there's a few exceptions. But I'm seeing more selling pressure than buying pressure on the indexes. Not enough volume on the 5. Interesting. So I'd still say probably crude is the best looking so far. But it's like walking into a bar and only seeing girls with missing teeth. She might be, but something's wrong here. Right, and what's missing, right, is on this increasing volume candle is there's no breakdown and hold under low of day, right? That's the element here that's a little bit wacky to me, if you want to call it that. Oh, mate, I used to live in Guernsey, Greg. You have no idea what that was like. Did it work, Greg? Did that line work? Again, have not missed on anything here on crude. Breakout, but not on volume. Same thing with NQ. Where's... Is that a little inside bar breakdown? Yeah, that's okay. Again, still hasn't held above low of the day, which is making me just a little bit pessimistic. Yeah. So still a relatively slow start here. I don't know, seems like it might just be a classic dopamine detox day here a little bit so far. Or at least early doors, not a tremendous amount of enthusiasm in either direction. The only exception really is crude, but it still hasn't really behaved the way that I've wanted. Okay, better. Held under low of day. Gave us that little fake out higher too, and now possibly giving us that pop. So that's interesting. All right, gonna start watching this here. So stop loss would have to be 33. Again, we're looking for that correct reaction, right? We've already seen when we were looking at the aggressive entry here, right? We already saw that it gave us a little fake out higher and then broke down. So I don't need to be like trying to rush this decision when I already have evidence that rushing that decision probably would have cost me money. Now the thing with missing teeth, right? You can't knock it until you try it. But I'm not sure if I'm ready to take that mental leap here yet. Okay, yeah, so again, made a good call there, right? We already seen that fake out happen once. What's to say it wouldn't happen twice, right? Now we're starting to see indexes also breaking down. Decent volume, 950. We just had some Fed speak start 5 minutes ago. So is Lori Logan causing some shenanigans, or is this a textbook breakdown? Ooh. Okay, do technically have it on the 5-min on ES. What would this have to look like? 603. Pretty tight stop. And Q, probably a little bit more work, but a retest of previous low days, not bad. Okay, and Q's being a little bit of a psycho. So I'm going to start watching ES as well here to the downside. Again, right, base expectation is chop until proven otherwise, right? So CL again, now starting to maybe break down, fake out and go, right? So we need to pull back gently into 67.16. Stop loss of 26. So let's see if it can. Ooh, 1 penny away. 953. Good volume. So still watching here, team. Still watching here. All right, so we can get a little pullback. Again, 26 would be the stop, right? Entry above 16. That would be 5 contracts. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so watching closely here. Too fast of a move. That was 4 cents in a second. Too fast. So right now, right, my limit order is set up still at 16. But I also have no reason to click submit on this yet. Because it didn't quite give me the oomph that it was expecting, right? On that pullback into my zone. It like hungry hippoed, right? The levels there. One thing I'm always hyper paranoid about, I guess, with CL2 is it loves that like mid-morning reversal. Okay, so a little inside bar. Doesn't kill me. Still in play. Okay, so still watching here. Man, it's like watching paint dry all of a sudden. A little double inside bar by the looks of it here. So again, no reason to have jumped in yet. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so now you're looking at a 67.05 stop loss. If it can break down here again. Maybe should have pulled the trigger out like 67.17. Okay, nope. So now a 67.10 stop, which means you need an entry at 67.04. It's tough to get. Now, it would give you good sizing, right? You'd be able to buy 8 or 9 contracts, right? Just didn't pull the trigger, Juan. Just didn't pull the trigger, man. So is this now a reversal? Yeah, they're pretty annoying. And this 6704 is interesting. Just don't know if I have the courage to be aggressive with that when I know it loves a 10 a.m. reversal. I mean, 5-min wise, you should have a bigger range. It's hard to not look at this as a fake out scenario. Now we're in a reversal. All right, second biggest volume of the day. So that's going to be what I'm looking for here. What's it look like on the Bollinger Bands? Yeah, makes sense. Don't want this pulling back too much. Needs to get over 18, and then 18 being my retest zone for a breakout back up towards high a day. And stop loss 67.10. Still being patient here. I haven't really seen that elevator up, stairs down. There it is. Now let's see if we can get stairs down. Okay. You gotta be kidding me here. Okay, still watching. Am I getting maybe a better breakdown scenario on indexes? Stop, what are you doing? Fuck me. Okay, if it doesn't give me that look here on the 5, fine. Reset, traded on the 3 or the 10 min. Might have those secondary breakdowns here on NQ. Right, so target 2100, right, as our spot here. But I missed this for sure. Now, don't feel like I missed anything on CL, right, to the downside. So again, feel pretty vindicated, right, in waiting for that exact reaction that I wanted. Maybe it didn't get exactly how I wanted it to behave. And so just didn't take it. Feel good about that now in hindsight. Right? Ultimately, because I just didn't miss the bigger move, right? It's like not like I missed like this tremendous trend day here. Kind of just missed some basic PA. Fix 14.76. Again, on the 3-min, we could be back in business here. Something like this. 12-cent stop loss, right, would mean you have to go a little bit smaller on your position sizing. And if we go aggressive technique, then maybe we could get bigger. And you're going 10 cents, that'd be 5 contracts. Okay. Still need to see a breakout over that candle's high before we can be confident in the aggressive. How long till this candle closes? Okay, the 10-min just closed. I might just rather do this on the 10-min. So stop loss at 30. Need to see a breakout over 36 and then a pullback between 38 and 36. So 67.30 stop loss. So I could buy 8 units. See a pullback here now. All right, guys. So I am in average price 38. Seven contracts. So there's that retest, right? If you missed it, there's that retest. All right, so we can go here. Maybe a bit of a chased entry. Let's see it fly, though. Let's see it fly. All right, take that leap here, CL. Take that leap. Good start here so far. Oh, might have jinxed. Stopped out. Ooh. Man. Looked so good for a second. So minus 302.55. Mean. I'm glad we still have a sense of humor. That's heartless. Heartless, I tell ya. Stop was off by 10 cents. I mean, faked out and then going. Low ball pull back. Exit price was 32. That's so mean. Ah, you're kidding me now. Okay, so now I could try again on the 3-min time frame here. I mean, it's the right idea. I just got shaken out again. I'm in some sort of torture chamber with these fake outs. Seems like it, yeah, Rusty. But it's tough to trust the pullback once it makes a higher high and then pulls back. But frick me. This should have been a monster. I mean, my... Yeah, I'm trying not to curse as much, Jenny, so I gotta find other words. Okay, so I'm potentially interested in trying this again. It's a little inside bar. Stop loss have to be 18. Man. Thank you. But that's too big of a stop, right? Even that. I mean, 15 cents or whatever, 13 cents or 23 cents, too much. It's 2 contracts. I don't want to waste my time with that. $67.18. And if this goes aggressive, again, I could do that. I do have PTSD, but trust, trust, trust. Man, this game is ruthless. Okay. Stop of 45. It's gonna get a little pullback here. Oh, gentle one. Gentle, gentle, gentle. An entry target, right, is red line, which is 54. All right, guys, so I am in 54, 67, 54. 5 contracts. Much better reaction this time. Much, much, much better. All right, see if this thing can now break out and sustain. Come on. Might have a chance to pyramid here. Maybe not. Too far of a runner. But now, right, nearly 1,200 bucks on this trade. So now it's all about protecting here, right? Not letting this go red. And let's see if this thing can give me some oomph here. Come on. I'm going to protect my entry here at 62. Golly Moses. Don't like that. Come on, keep going. $10.28. No 10:30 data today. Come on. See if this candle can close above 70. If it can, we're in good shape. If it won't, I'll get out and take the 800 bucks. Why didn't this happen the first time? Come on. Come on. Come on. All right, guys, I closed it at 67.62. Net P&L on the day, 96.77. Yippee-ki-yay. It looked so promising just for a second there. Of course, now it's going to run. Is this a reversal scenario here now? Failed breakout. $67.80 would have to be the stop, I think. The decisions. Okay, now 67.70 would have to be the stop. Okay, too fast of a move, too fast of a move. Two back-to-back lower lows. Just looks like a failed break. We'd be targeting low of day here. 54. So if you 62 stop. Still no. Mean that second one, Ben? Was it just because my plan wasn't clear enough? What do you think happened? Fair. No, I know you're trying not to chase, right? But I'll have to watch it back. I'm pretty sure I said entry plan was a retest of high a day or high of confirmation candle. So I was just waiting for that to touch and then jump in. Meantime, and Q on the 5's kind of interesting. Not going to be able to do the aggressive entry technique here. Be too challenging of a pullback to get. If that's going to be the case, you may as well just play pullback with a stop at 93.25. One for two, $97. Hip hip hooray. ES, not enough volume relative to NQ. And this 10-min looks promising as well. Similar to what we saw yesterday, right? Dip buyers showing up. Faked out 21.55. Our plan was 20.055, right? 21.055. So that's within the realm of possibility. And I'll say I'm trying to watch NQ here to the upside for sure. Okay, so still watching here. Get everything set up now. So stop loss 93.25. And that would be a one contract play, right? One contract. And I'm trying to buy myself time to, yeah, buy a over dramatic pullback, potentially survive a fake out if one happens. To say that I'm trusting of this price action would be naive. Okay. So still the pullback entry opportunity. Let's see this reaction around 21.1. A pullback towards 21.1 gives me a chance to buy two contracts. But that acted like a magnet to the downside. Okay, no entry. Now, stop loss at low a day could be interesting, but again, right, you need a deeper pullback to justify. And again, my trust issues are legendary at this point. The pain, the torture, the cruelty. Again, right? Little fake out. Wants to fake us out today. Wants to fake us out. Sounds good, Jenny. Enjoy. This might be the fake out technique. It's the one I posted in the Discord. Signal, fake out. Man, this is tough. It's definitely one of those weeks where protecting mental capital is priority numero uno. Yeah, hard to do that sometimes proactively. And again, there's like there's the tease kind of with the price action where there's like feels like there's good volatility to get follow through, but bad type of volatility where it wants to fake you out before it gives it to you. I don't know. Maybe I'm just chatting shit. Oh, CL back in play. Do I have the courage? So mean. You know, 103 to 78, that would be tight. Question is it crude or should I play NQ? What are you guys' thoughts? $107.75 be 20-point stops. That's one contract. $77. Now I'm just gonna start buying my stop losses here soon. I do think NQ probably has more potential. I would agree with that, Topher. I just don't know if, where my courage. I need oh, nice work, Rust. Yeah, you bought the stop. That's a monster. Congratulations. Yeah, where do you set your stop loss underneath that? Is it just the range? So do you then set yourself like a 24-point stop based on the fibs, or how do you do that? So again, setting this thing up here a little bit, looking at that 77 as a stop loss. Crude is so mean. Fair. That's very reasonable. So $300 worth of risk. Very, very reasonable. Yeah, it does. Yeah, yeah. Like to probably see this under 100, right, as an entry. Hate how much I have to work for this right now. Where is the VWAP? Where's the EMA? Okay, so watching closely here. Then it has to be under 100 for me to get good enough risk reward to justify this. Or good enough position sizing to justify this, sorry. Risk reward is there. And obviously the deeper pullback, the easier life gets. Can't stand crude right now. I think the most frustrating market to trade is when you would have made a lot of money by breaking rules. It's really hard to ignore that. But like falling for that trap is a disaster waiting to happen. So it's like suffer the pain of discipline, right? Or suffer the regret of blowing your account. It's like it's better to take paper cuts than to cut your artery. Yeah, the aggressive entry technique at the moment, Frodo, is being a fickle mistress. I do not disagree with that at all. On this crude, this pulled back to 49 and then broke. Man, wants to test your sanity, right, before it makes those moves. And, I mean, you guys hear me on a day-to-day basis. I'm a lunatic. Pick me, man. Oh. I don't have faith that this will be the right move. I was just speaking to another trader, and yeah, this doesn't mean much, but he's been sharing a lot of the same sentiments as us here this week, where this has been, he said, one of the most confusing weeks of the year for him. And this is someone who trades a different strategy, different technique. So obviously, you're not trying to build sympathy here, but it's nice to feel as if we're not alone. As this is definitely a pull your hair out market. It's like, it's a witching hour, right? For those of you who watch Red Zone. Wins become losses, losses become wins. I know. I have that feeling sometimes. I watched that Seinfeld episode like 2 nights ago, maybe. It's one of the all-timers. Absolutely one of the all-timers. Kind of feels like this is what we got going on here right now. Well, for me, Sammy, it's mostly on the initial one is I don't want to get too greedy, right, with follow through. So if we're still trying to buy off of these lows, then high a day is kind of a good move. But yeah, we for sure could have targeted 2R for sure. Just for myself in general, like I like when I set up my fibs where like it's not like a huge FU range, right? So if I can get a more conservative target and a deeper pullback, there's kind of it's kind of like a little bit more appealing, right? Just from like a not feeling like I have to chase the trade type perspective, if that makes sense. Like right now here, like I could for sure be targeting 2R on NQ, but then like my entry zone feels like a lot bigger. It feels like maybe I get a bit more FOMO chasing it. So I'd rather be more conservative with my target and go for high of day instead of something preposterous. Yeah, for sure. These are times that test you absolutely. Like I was saying, it's basically been 10 days of like stagnating action. So I was looking at my P&L tracking this morning. Like 93,327. And that would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've been like from October 30th to now. It's basically just been stuck in place. Basically survive until you can thrive again type markets. Which is unfortunate. But this is what we got to go through sometimes. Like I wish, I wish everything was like August and September. Those were tremendous markets for me. But not everything goes in a straight line, right? There's gonna be times where things are easier, times where things are tougher. And when things are tougher, we have to not trick ourselves into thinking that it's easier. And that's why like managing risk is so important, right? Gamifying losing small is so important. Trying not to get your butt kicked is so important. And also trying to do it with a smile, right? Like it is the optimistic trader that has a greater advantage than the pessimistic trader. And so that's a choice, right? I'm an eternal optimist. It might not seem that way sometimes. But I always believe things will be better. Things will improve. And that's the way it goes, right? Good times lead to hard times lead to good times. Euphoria leads to chop leads to euphoria. So what I do, Patrick, great question, is I have limit orders set. And then when it's under my entry target, I click submit on my limit order. And then that essentially behaves like a market order. So it'll fill me at the best possible price up until my limit. Yeah, no worries. It's a good question. It still feels like we could break out of this consolidation. I can't get over CL today, though. Oh. Well, if that's the case, Jack, drinks will be on me next time I see you. What I don't do, right, is I don't like submit that order. So if my limit price right now, and it's not, right, if my limit price was 103.25, I haven't clicked submit here yet, right? So I'm watching the reaction to that area. And then now, for example, if I thought, hey, this was a good time to enter, and I click submit, I would get a fill at 96.85 with a max fill of 103.25. So I just removed my hand from the trigger. So it's once it hits my limit price, I'm looking for the reaction. And then it's showtime. So is that a capitulation bounce off the trend line? Potentially. Dogs came and say hello. Hello, buddy. I still can't get over CL. Oh, man. You have to laugh. You have to laugh. Maybe for the next Joker movie, Joaquin Phoenix can trade choppy markets instead of doing musicals. So we tried to play this reversal. Yeah, I know. Fake this out on the first entry. That would have been a monster. Second entry would have faked this out too. So took a small win on one, took a small loss on the other. Just building up those gray hairs. That's so mean. Oh. So what we're looking for here now, right, is probably a trend line breakout. Yeah, looks like a good retest of your entry. You should be okay. I mean, you should be up a pretty penny here, like 600 bucks. There's nothing to complain about there. Fair enough. All good, all good. Man, Seattle. This is so mean. Oh. And I'm not looking for sympathy when I say that, right? I'm just trying to laugh at the absurdity of this. Okay, let's see if it's got juice here. So could I do this? 17-point stop. That's pretty reasonable. So probably missing is the volume. Just to the point where I can talk myself out of it. It's increasing, but not outlier. Maybe if I was buying off of 92 or 94.75. Easier to talk myself into it. Yes, ripping. NQ can't be far behind here. So let's just start to do some math. 112 stop loss, 18 points. I mean, it's within reason. Still no reason to jump in. Oh. A decent reaction. I mean, ideally, that would be best. 118 stop, 12 points. Could definitely live with myself with that. Nice work, Rusty. Congratulations. Yeah, 45 points. Awesome day. I am watching here. I am watching. Arms crossed. Everything's set up. Life is a higher high, higher low. Retest of the trend line would be the entry target. Right, see resistance act as support. $11.18. It's like Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Sudden death overtime. No pressure, kid. Ah, so mean. Nice. Let's see if this thing runs for you. Good luck. that big pop. Maybe a little bit concerning. You got your 15 points in the second. And this would be more or less where you'd want to go entry target. Still higher high, still higher low, so you're not dead yet. But I reckon you could probably get a better entry. Honestly, right now, buying the scariest entry is buying the best entry. I play CL to 69. Possibly. Alright, so I'm back on this CL. Watching, no entry yet. This is the best. Stop, 68.43. Entry under 57. We're basically looking for a repeater of this one at 1051. And NQ bounced off trend line again. I know. That's kind of what I'm fighting here just a little bit. Is do I have FOMO on missing this move? Or am I actually seeing this the way I need to be seeing this? But it's, you know, possibly looking like this pattern might want to rhyme a little bit, right? Just an incy teeny bit. Yeah, potentially. I don't know if it's going to get enough volume for that, though, right? So maybe on the longer time frame it might. Like, it doesn't look like enough volume. Can't help myself but think that NQ could still be in play as well. Just keeps bouncing off of that area. And everything seems maybe stuck. Again, if I go to CL, it just feels like this pattern, these 3 candles, right, are repeating themselves. This one, that one. Similar type candle shape, similar type candle shape, similar type candle shape. So, saying there's a chance. NQ38, ES18, NQ38. So, still kind of similar. Here goes that man. Where is my courage today? The only thing missing is the fake out through the confirmation high. Meanwhile, NQ, why? I know, Dwayne, I know. We've been painfully patient. Well, I mean, look, that's a good skill. It's a frustrating skill, but it's a good one. Because if a trade is strong, it'll give us multiple chances. Right? So we could do something like this now, targeting green to red. Sounds good, Patrick. Sounds good. We do have something setting up here, though. Back to outlier volume. Okay, so back to watching here. Back to watching. This is 5-minute look. 3-minute looks better. Bing, bang, ding, bang, dingo. So can I go pullback technique here? Stop will have to be 39 or 30 cents away or 30 points away. A bit better now. Not enough volume on ES, or sorry, on CL. I think the only thing I have here is this NQ green to red. Or sorry, red to green. I'm willing to risk 400 bucks here. I could go stop at 152. That might be more appealing. 10-min time frame. Interesting. Mean reversion setup. Let's see how this closes. That's an okay candle. There would be a reasonable target here. I think low of day is probably too ambitious. So maybe high of the opening range. I mean, this could be that fake out. So stop loss short, 42. Obviously, we'd like to see a deeper pullback here still. And then the thing that I'm fighting a little bit is, should maybe stop loss be high of day? Like that's the impulsive thought I have, or the intrusive thought I should say. Is there on the 5. It's 27. I'd like to see 30 or higher as an entry. 32 or higher, I should say. Little inside bar. Doesn't do anything to me yet. Makes me feel nothing. Yeah, just saw a 30 print. Let's see if I can get a 32, 33 or above. It's pretty slow. NQ back to 60. Oh. Yeah, possibly. It's pretty extended. How often do you see 3 red in a row or 3 green in a row? Not too often. 1, 2, 3, die. 1, 2, 3, die. So kind of maybe looks a little bit like capitulation. What did we reject off of? 68.60. So we set around 69. So it's kind of at our extended levels. So on the 5 minute, it'd have to be stop loss at 34. Again, we want to see like a 24 entry or above. Okay, watching closely here. As is, this would be 3 contracts up at 24, right? It could be 5. Trying not to FOMO here. This would be sweet revenge, that's for sure. Ching, dang, bing, lang, bing, 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 bing. That was a 24 touch, probably a little bit too quick. Better. ES and NQ now also dying. Feels better. Where's it on the 10? Could this be a buyer stop loss? Seeming slowly starting to look like it's getting stuffed here. And again, I want like a 10-cent stop if I'm going to go stop at high a day. Give myself like 8-to-1 risk reward, right? And then our clue, right, that it wasn't ready for our entry is that it went from like 19 to 24 in the blink of an eye. Had to have been like an F1 driver, right, to catch that move. Just like the reflexes required. But ESNQ kind of dying off. Yeah, looking for a short here, Brian. Looking for a short. There's 50. Again, that happened pretty quick. So you can, if you look at my screen, red line is always my stop loss. White line is my profit target. So if I'm looking at a trade, it's always going to be set up that way. But I'm buying myself a tremendous amount of time to make this decision. And that's a better reaction. That's 5 cents after a 50 touch. Pretty quick. Much better reaction. I can be your hero, baby. I mean, this is really low volume on this pullback. Like, lowest volume of the day on these last 2 bars. So if I'm saying, hey, bulls are strong here, I'm probably lying to myself. Do I have a tremendous amount of evidence that I have easy follow through here today? Again, probably not. Let's see. Again, still watching around that 50, right? 68.50 for a short. Just watching the reaction. So if it touches, that doesn't mean I'm going to jump in. Trying to buy myself time to make this decision. Right? So right now, still watching here, right? Ideally would like to buy an overreaction. And gamify losing small. Hey, you okay? Okay. Sorry, dog was giving me some weird noises. Okay, better. 51 to 49, pretty quick. 52. It's increasing volume, but it's pathetic. Okay, so watching closely here. Come on. Come on. All right, guys. So I am in 68.51. 68.51. Stop at 68.60. And I've got 5 contracts. And I want this to go in my direction here quickly and aggressively. So far, so good. So far, so good. 500 bucks. Let's see a bit more. See if we can get some revenge here. Look how patient we had to be on that entry. Oh my gosh. Right, so I'm already up 1R on this trade, so I will not let this go red. If for whatever reason it decides it wants to pull back, I will close my trade before it goes red. Understood? Nice, Suresh. Good man. Let's see if this thing can die. Don't pull back. Come on, don't make this stressful. Just break. Come on. I'm trying to trust you here, CL. Fingers on the trigger. My finger is on the trigger. Yeah, it might touch 68, so that should be great if it did. Question is, how many fake outs does it want to do before it gets there? This no longer feels as enthusiastic. Come on. Make a lower low here. Come on. Make a lower low. Come on, come on, come on. That's 500 bucks. Let's see if it can keep going. $650. Come on. I believe in you, CL. $750. Come on. Take my breath away. Keep going here. Be a good girl. So far, so good, right? So far, so good. $9.50. Come on. Say probably the only thing that's bothering me here is that it hasn't been on a tremendous amount of volume, right? If we look at this volume bar, it's pretty pathetic. That makes it quite susceptible to some wild moves here. Come on, get under 30. That'll be 2R, right? Here we go. Everyone feeling good? Good, good. Let's see if we can keep breaking here. We're in good shape, team. We are in good shape. So now my stop loss, right, is going to be at my 1R level. So I will not let this pull back past 41. And let's see if this thing can keep going. But turning into a very nice day here all of a sudden, right? 1,400 bucks. Let's see if this thing can keep breaking down. If we can get that flush through 20, Suresh, your 68 target certainly seems like it will be in play. Oh man, I gotta work for a living sometimes. It's not why I took this job. So a few pennies to go here, a few pennies to go in what is turning out to be an excellent bounce back day, team. Excellent bounce back day. So that's 1,500. I know, Brian. I mean, I'm just a whiner. I have no complaints. I live my dream. But every now and then, this job makes you wish you were like an accountant just doing paperwork all day. Don't have to pull your hair out. Again, the only thing that bothers me is the volume. The volume is not incredible. It's okay, but it's not incredible. So let's see if we can get another flush here. Come on, CL. I believe in you. So nice to not gotten faked out on this trade. Oh my goodness. So nice. Alright, so pushing 1,700 here. Almost made back everything from yesterday. So we're doing well here, team. We are doing well. A great reminder of why our risk-reward ratios are so important. Don't like that little bounce. I don't like how long it's taken. Nice, Suresh. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I'm all or nothing. I mean, that's a terrible way of describing it, but I will close my entire position when I close it. I'm impartial to partials. Okay, there's 18. What a bounce back, team. What a bounce back. Let's go. 1850. Come on. Here we go. 1900. Keep breaking down, you loony. 2000. All right, here we go. Everyone feeling good? We've been waiting for this. We have been waiting for this. Oh, that bothers me just a little bit. I mean, I can't unsee that. It just bounced off the Bollinger Band midline. Yeah, no, absolutely, Frodo. So, it's a rejection thesis here, right? And then here's your confirmation candle, 1130. So, fake out higher, high volume bearish separation away from that range or from that fake out area. And then just because we've seen this market wanting to fake us out nonstop pretty much here, decided to have stop loss at high of day. And so just waited for that low vol pullback into 51 as our entry logic. So here's your setup, right? Rejection candle. Here's your confirmation, right? Separation away from that rejection on increasing outlier volume. And then your entries on that pullback within 10 cents of high of day. Does that make sense? Okay, that's 1700. Come on. Oh. Again, I hate the volume here. So let's see if it can break down just a few more. So Rex, that 18 you chose, just the time of day, I think. But I definitely would have expected a bit more volume. It's got to die here. Come on, come on. You can do it. Come on, come on, come on. So close. Well, I am debating closing here a little bit. See if I can just sell it off on a pullback here lower. I can't shake the volume. That making me very paranoid that if a reversal happens, it'll happen very quickly because it won't take very many participants. So let's see if this thing can break. I'm going to give it, if this thing doesn't close under 20, I will shot clock it out and get out. And I'll say between 31 and 20. So I'm either going to close this as a 2R win, or I'm going to get that continuation breakdown narrative so I can hold it out for a little bit longer. So I'll stop now, 68.31. $2R, right? Come on. $50 seconds to go. Probably doesn't feel like it's going to close under 20. Feels like probably the most likely outcome is a stop out here. So I'm going to try to close this a little bit early if I can. Oof. Come on, 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 come on. I should have pulled the trigger at 27. There's 31. All right, guys, I'm out. Woo! So a nice little $1,200 win. So total on the day here, 1296.77. Not bad. Not bad here today, team. Not bad at all. Oh, man, what a working day, though. 2 for 3, no complaints. And a great little bounce back, all things considered. Was green, maybe should have closed a little bit more aggressively. But I'll take that. Still a good day. Any questions here, team? Any questions? Yeah, we had to work today here. We had to absolutely work today, but we got our trade in. Explain what happened there, Willard. What happened? What do you mean by that? No, I know, but how'd that happen? So what's your process for when you're setting your trades? Let's talk about that. So it should be, talk to me about your create order procedure. So let me fill in my journal here in a second, then I'll show you what I do. Yeah, break that down for me. All right. Oh. Good bounce back day today, team. Really good bounce back day. All right, so let's just log in here. I can see my screen fine, yeah? So let's pretend, right, I'm going short here on crude again, all right? Obviously, this is not a real setup here, guys, right? This is just purely for educational. Well, yeah, I mean, I tell you how many contracts I'm going to be buying, right? There's no other way for me to do that because I'm doing the calculation too, right? So I wanted to be within 10 cents of my stop loss location so that I could buy 5 contracts, right? Because if each contract moves $10 a cent and my stop loss is 10 points away or 10 cents away, then I can buy 5 contracts, right? To be able to get decent sizing on that position. So have to be able to do that calculation yourself too, right? That should be something that you take accountability for because that's an easy thing that anyone can do for themselves. And you need to be incredibly selfish there, right? Don't ask me to manage your risk for you. You have to manage it yourself. So hypothetically, right, let's say that we're looking at the trade like this. So first thing I do, click sell. Right? Next thing I do, click stop loss. Stop loss 68.44. Okay, so set that. Then I go to my price and I set it to be the bid, right? If I'm within 10 cents, or I set it to be a specific target if I want to be more specific. So let's say I want to get at 68.40 as my entry price. Well, now I can then look at my dollar figure and I know I'd be risking $200 based on 5 units. So then if I go to 10 units, right, I'm risking 4. If I go to 11, I'm risking 440, 12, 480. And that's exactly the process, right? So now, okay, click submit. Sweet, I'm in a trade, already down $360. But it should never be a surprise. I should always be looking units and seeing this number matching what I expect, right? There should be no surprises here ever, over how much I'm going to risk or what my sizing is going to be. If I do not know what my sizing is going to be on that trade, I will not take it. I will wait until I can figure that idea out. Right? So then there's simple tricks that you can do, right? So I know with NQ, I'm going one contract if I have a stop loss between 15 points and 20 points, right? Even 15 and 25 points, right? 25 times 2, right? It's 50. Each contract is worth $20. So that's $500 right on 500 bucks. Or yeah, $500 on 25 points, right? If it's 15 point stop loss and I buy one contract, right, I'm risking $300. So if I get, less than 15, I'll generally look to buy 2 contracts, right, in general. And then on ES, well, each contract is worth $50 a point, right? So if I'm trading with 2 contracts and my stop loss is 5 points, 5 times 50 is 250 times 2 equals 500. So I generally want to see my stop loss to be 2 points if I'm buying 5, 3 points if I'm buying more than that. And so you can build up these frame of references for yourself, right, to ultimately become more successful with those ideas. But you guys all need to be accountable to yourself over your stop loss location. I'm not here to tell you, right, how much you're going to lose on your entry. You have to figure that out yourself. The math is very simple. And that has to be something that you're accountable to yourself for. And there's no reason not to be able to skip those steps. Should be pretty smooth. You just need to work on your order of operations, right? Right? So it should always be stop loss first, right? Set your stop loss, set your entry price, and then determine, is my position sizing more or less than my max loss number? Should be that exact same routine on every single one of your decisions. Otherwise, right, there is no reason to take that trade. Right? So, look, if you have some time here this afternoon, that's a great reason to play around with your paper trading account, right? So, okay, here I want to go short. Again, not a real trade, right? Just hypothetical. Okay. Right, so bring up your trading panel, stop loss. First thing, 68.62. Sell. Okay. Price 50, right? So now I look at my risk. It's $1,400. That's way too much. So, okay, as is, I could buy 4 contracts at 50. If I go to bid, right now I could buy 3 contracts. Again, get comfortable falling in love with this process. Your risk management is the only thing that honestly matters. If you choose to ignore your risk, then the numbers will always work against you, right? When you size too small when we're right, your wins are going to be smaller than your losses. When you size too big when we're wrong, your losses are always going to be bigger than your wins. So we got to make sure that that number is consistent so that we don't have those operational mistakes and the numbers game can actually win for us, right? Can actually work for us. So execute 100 trades here today, right? In this afternoon. Just play around, mess around with it, and get your order of operations to where you need it to be so that that isn't an excuse the next time. Understood? That is what your paper trading account is for, right? All right, team. Any other questions here today? Any other questions here today? DTR guests, how'd the day go for you guys? Good day? Awesome, John. Awesome. Glad you could see a nice bounce back. Just shows, right, how important our risk management is, how important it is for us to focus on trading our technique consistently, and how one trade, right, you're always one trade away if your risk management is good from being green again. So for me, very, very positive. Yeah, you have a great day, team. All right, team. Well, if no other questions, I'll go final call here. Final call for questions. And a great bounce back day. Oh my gosh, does that feel good? All right, team. Well, if no further questions, I'm going to kill the stream here for the day. Same deal like always, right? If you have any questions, hit me up outside of market hours, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. But great bounce back here, team. Very proud of you all fighting through some very challenging price action. And hope we keep kind of compounding and building off of this as we creep up towards the end of the week. So have yourselves a great day, team, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Peace.